Blood's boiling over at Ducks Hot Water.
You've got shonky operators setting up days either side of governments announcing huge rebates on heat pump hot water systems, bringing in dodgy, low-quality heat pumps from overseas. We've had enough.
Ducks is backing a future made in Australia, producing on average 600 tanks a day.
From solar to storage to gas to boosted electric, we do it all here.
But the chief executive claims domestic manufacturing's in hot water.
We had Tim Ayres and we had Stephen Jones. They came to our factory 8th of November last year. They talked the talk, but they took off and we haven't heard from them since. We've followed them up with a letter, with a phone call. We've had the union call them 4 times. We see all of these ads out there saying a future made in Australia. It is complete bullshit. We cannot even get them to return our call.
After 110 years of assembly, Ducks is joining forces with competitors to take their campaign on the road.
Ducks, Rheem and Rinnai have formed an association because these government policies have, unless they're turned around, have the capacity to send us the way of the car industry. We're passionate about making water heaters here in Australia and we're ready to fight.
Ducks has spent $100,000 torture testing their own, as well as 22 imported heat pumps to the Australian standard of 250,000 cycles. Those unable to withstand the pressure end up here in the Heat Pump Hall of Shame.
And the enamel solubility, the lining that protects the tank, does not meet a classification as defined in the standard.
The whole tank has imploded and toppled over. Now this is really scary because this has got a warning here for risk of fire with flammable R290 gas.
Water heaters are one of the last appliances still made in Australia, and Ducks says the government must introduce a minimum performance standard on heat pumps to safeguard the domestic industry and customers.
Then we're saying, get behind an Australian manufacturer, support us. If there's a rebate, make sure it's linked to the amount of Australian content. If there's 80% Australian content, give them 80% of the rebate. If there's no Australian content, they get no rebate.
To lose something like this, it would be really devastating to not just myself but the other families in the community that rely on job safety and rely on jobs like this to keep us in the area.
Assistant Minister for a Future Made in Australia, Tim Ayres, was contacted for comment. Olivia Blunden, WIN News.